to the Money RX for CRNAs podcast, where you go behind the scenes with host Brett Fellows, CFP, as he explores the unique opportunities and challenges facing certified registered nurse anesthetist along the path to financial independence. In each episode, Brett shares expert insights and actionable advice, equipping you with the tools you need to take control of your financial destiny and retire on your terms. And now, here's your host, Brett Fellows.
Welcome to the Money RX for CRNAs podcast. I'm Brett Fellows, and today we're answering a common question I get from new clients as we start our relationship. How much do I actually need to retire? Now, it's a big question, and one that takes on a different meaning for CRNAs in such a challenging career. As one CRNA shared, "I cannot possibly work another day. I am burnt out and exhausted. So when can you actually step away from the grind? Instead of working full-time shifts, work just on your terms." Well, as a CRNA, you're probably earning $200,000 plus annually, which puts you in a unique position. You have the income to build substantial wealth, but you also face intense career demands that can lead to burnout and earlier retirement than you originally planned. Today, I'm going to walk you through a 3-step framework I use with my CRNA clients to calculate their retirement number. And by the end of this episode, my hope is that you'll have a better understanding of how much you need based on your situation. Let's start with the good news. As a CRNA, you're naturally positioned to be a retirement success story. Your high income, typically between $175,000 and $250,000 annually, means you can save substantial amounts. Most of you have built significant balances in your 403b or 401k accounts through consistent hospital employment. And frankly, you're disciplined professionals who execute plans when you have them. But there are some unique challenges we need to address. First, career burnout is real in your profession. I see CRNAs retiring earlier than they originally planned because the physical and emotional demands become unsustainable. This means your retirement might need to last longer than you initially calculated. Second, most of your retirement savings are likely in pre-tax accounts like your 403b or traditional IRA. Well, this creates a major tax concern down the road because every dollar you pull out in retirement will be taxed as ordinary income. Third, there's the golden handcuffs problem. Your high income makes it scary to walk away because you're thinking, how in the world do I replace this $200,000 salary? But here's the thing. You don't need to replace your entire salary. You need to replace your spending. Finally, you might have gap years between when you stop working and when Social Security kicks in. This is actually an opportunity, but you need to plan for it. So let's start with step 1. The first step is calculating your true retirement expenses. Now, most people think they need to replace their entire income, but that's not true. Take this example. Let's say you're currently earning $200,000 per year. You look at that number and think, I need to generate $200,000 annually in retirement. But let's break down what you're actually spending. First, subtract what goes away when you retire. You're currently paying payroll taxes of 7.65% on your income. That's $15,300 per year that you won't pay in retirement. You're probably contributing 15% to your 403b or 401k, which is another $30,000 annually. Well, you won't need to save for retirement when you're retired. You may also have work-related expenses for things like scrubs, continuing education, professional dues, maybe another $3,000 per year. Those disappear. And if your mortgage will be paid off by retirement, subtract that annual payment. Let's say that's $24,000 per year. So far, we've reduced your $200,000 income by $72,300 just from things that naturally go away. But you'll have some new expenses. If you retire before age 65, you'll need to pay for health insurance yourself. I would budget around $15,000 annually for a couple. You'll probably want to travel more and do activities you've been putting off. Add $10,000 for that. So your actual retirement spending need is around $130,000 to $140,000, not $200,000. Now that's a huge difference when we start to calculate how much you need saved. Okay, here's the second step. Subtract your non-portfolio income. Once you know your spending need, figure out what income you'll have that doesn't come from your investments. Now, for most CRNAs, this is primarily Social Security. Go to ssa.gov right now and get your actual Social Security statement. Don't guess. Most CRNAs can expect between $30,000 and $42,000 annually from Social Security, depending, of course, on your earnings history and when you claim benefits. Some of you might have pension benefits if you worked for certain hospital systems, but that's becoming rare. You might plan to work part-time in early retirement doing some PRN work. Include any rental income if you have investment properties. Let's use our example. You need $130,000 annually, and you'll get $35,000 from Social Security. That means your investment portfolio needs to generate $95,000 per year to fill the gap. Okay, so that brings us to step 3. Let's calculate your required portfolio size. So how large does your portfolio need to be to generate $95,000 annually for 25 to 30 years? Well, this depends on your withdrawal rate. The traditional 4% rule says that you can withdraw 4% of your portfolio value in year 1, then adjust that amount for inflation each year. Using the 4% rule, you'd need $95,000 divided by 0.04, which equals $2.375 million. If you want to be more conservative, use 3.5%. That would require $2.7 million. If you're more comfortable being more aggressive, 5% would require $1.9 million. Now, why does this matter for CRNAs specifically? Because you might retire earlier due to burnout, meaning your portfolio needs to last longer. Well, you'll face higher healthcare costs as you age, and if burnout forces you out earlier than planned, you might not have as much time to accumulate wealth as other professions. I typically recommend CRNAs plan somewhere between 4% and 5% withdrawal rates, depending on their specific situation. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Most CRNAs have a huge opportunity that other high-income professionals don't have, but most don't realize it. Right now, you're probably in the 22% or 24% federal tax brackets. So every dollar you put in your 403B saves you that much in taxes. But when you retire, especially if you retire earlier, your income drops significantly. So you might find yourself in the 10% or 12% bracket during your early retirement years. Now, this creates an opportunity for Roth conversions. Between the time you retire and age 73, when required minimum distributions kick in, you can convert money from your traditional pre-tax accounts to Roth accounts and pay taxes at these lower rates. Let me give you a real example. Say you retire at 58 and delay Social Security until age 67. During these gap years, you might be in the 12% tax bracket. Well, you can convert $50,000 per year from your traditional 403b to a Roth IRA and pay 12% tax on it. Now, if you had waited until age 73 when RMDs start, you might be paying 22% or 24% on that same money. So the tax savings over your lifetime could easily exceed $100,000. This is money you get to keep instead of sending it to the IRS. But you need to plan for this strategy now. If all your money is in Roth accounts, you'll have the flexibility to optimize your taxes in retirement. If it's all in traditional accounts, you might have missed the opportunity to use those lower tax brackets. Okay, let's reiterate the steps for you and your situation. First, calculate the true expenses in retirement, not just your current salary. Next, subtract your non-portfolio income. And third, calculate your required portfolio size based on an anticipated withdrawal rate between 4 and 5%. It also depends on what you actually want your retirement to look like. Let me give you 3 scenarios to help you. Scenario 1 is the comfortable retirement. You want to spend about $120,000 per year, which maintains most of your current lifestyle. You'll need between $2.4 and $3 million in your portfolio, depending on your withdrawal rate and other income sources. This is achievable for most CRNAs who start planning seriously by age 45. Scenario 2 is what some people call lean FIRE. It stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. You're willing to spend $80,000 per year, maybe by relocating to a lower cost area or by simplifying your lifestyle. Well, you'd need $1.6 to $2 million. This might be attractive if you're really burnt out and want to retire as early as possible. Scenario 3 is called Fat FIRE. You want to spend $200,000 or more annually. You want to maintain a premium lifestyle, potentially help your kids financially, and leave a legacy. Well, you're looking at $4 to $5 million or more. And this is definitely achievable for CRNAs, but it requires consistent high savings rates and good investment returns. The key variables that will determine which scenario fits you are your geographic location, whether you'll be supporting family members financially, your health status, and expected healthcare costs, and what kind of legacy you actually want to leave. Here's what you need to do. This week, go online and get your Social Security statement. Calculate your current annual expenses by looking at your bank and credit card statements. Make a list of all your retirement accounts and their current balances. And over the next 30 days, use the 3-step framework I just outlined to calculate your specific retirement number. Look at your current savings rate and compare it to what you need to reach your goal. Start researching Roth conversion opportunities with a qualified tax professional. Most importantly, start thinking about what I call financial runway planning. If burnout hits you and you need to step away from your career earlier than planned, what would that look like financially? Having a plan for this scenario gives you options and peace of mind. Here's how to think about where you stand right now. If you have under $2 million saved, focus on aggressive accumulation. Maximize your 403b contributions, consider backdoor Roth IRA strategies, and look at taxable investment accounts for anything above your retirement account limits. If you have $2 to $3 million saved, you're in the optimization phase. This is where tax strategy becomes really important. Work with a financial planner who understands CRNA-specific issues to optimize your withdrawal strategy and consider advanced tax planning. If you have over 3 million saved, congratulations. You likely have the flexibility to retire early if you want to. Your focus should be on creating a sustainable income plan and potentially legacy planning. Let me leave you with this. Your retirement number isn't some generic 1 million or 2 million that you read about online. It's your calculated number based on your specific expenses, your income sources, and your goals. As a CRNA, you have unique advantages. Your high income gives you the ability to save substantial amounts. The timing of your career often creates tax optimization opportunities that other professionals don't have. And your attention to detail and ability to follow protocols will serve you well in executing a retirement plan. But you also have unique challenges. Career burnout is real and might force earlier retirement than planned. Most of your savings are probably in traditional pre-tax accounts that will create a significant tax burden in retirement if you don't plan properly. The key is to plan for these realities now while you still have time and options. You've mastered one of the most demanding careers in healthcare. Apply that same level of precision and planning to your retirement, and you'll have the confidence to step away on your terms. If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe to the podcast and share it with other CRNAs who might benefit from this information. Until then, take care of your financial health with the same dedication you bring to patient care.
This podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. It should not be relied upon as a basis for investment decisions. This podcast does not engage in rendering legal, financial, or other professional services.